What's up? Welcome. Sorry I haven't been on in a bit. Clients have been busy closing deals, which is a great thing. Speaking of one of those deals, I was on the phone earlier with one of our clients that is closing on a private university deal. And it was one of the things that, first of all, I definitely believe in putting things out into the universe as far as intentions and then having them happen. So a while back, I was just talking about wanting to do university deals, the opportunity that exists there. And sure enough, we had someone who joined who was interested in those deals, has their first deal they're putting together, an LOI that is probably out right now, which is very exciting. So I want to talk about the opportunity that exists to buy universities. Before I get into that, I want to talk about the recent training that we did in the Patreon on this other huge opportunity with being able to acquire media and acquire an audience and following instead of trying to build it from scratch. Just like I'm not a big fan of building a business from scratch, I'm not a big fan of building social media from scratch. So we've been doing a lot of those deals. Just closed on, I guess, between a deal that we did internally on the Good Merger side of things and clients deals, probably about four media deals over the last week. Lots of opportunities there, lots more deals in the pipeline. But for you, I did a 90-minute training that you can get for free. You just join the free level of the Patreon, request that, and we will send you that 90-minute media mogul. It's called Modern Media Mogul. And it's basically creating your media empire, which is it's just a huge opportunity right now. I think that it's going to be tougher and tougher to build an audience in the coming years. And what that means is just like when it's tougher and tougher to get diamonds, like they become more valuable. Now we know all that's a scam, but the tougher it is to build something, the more expensive it becomes. So it's really a good time to enter that space. So check out the Patreon and just join at the free level. And if you still haven't, definitely check out Solo Conglomerate at the link below and get the 6-day full course. So let's talk about buying private universities. So people who have been following me for a while know that probably a couple of years back, I was talking about somebody else who was buying universities and in private equity world. And I was talking about this huge opportunity. Everybody talks about how bad universities are and how much of a scam it is and all of that. But what if you could help fix it? Like instead of just complaining about it, what about trying to be a part of the solution? So I think that's the opportunity that exists for people that are buying universities. And a lot of people look at the $1 billion deals, and that's what I was talking about in that first report. It's like, okay, there's this huge opportunity, obviously for those larger deals, $100 million universities and that kind of thing. But there's a ton of smaller universities. We were just talking on the phone with one in Texas in something that was a totally different, unrelated deal. But there are a lot of these smaller universities. I think their endowment was like 9 million. And so it's a lot of these smaller universities. And what's happening is in that space, there's just a lot of turmoil because students should be getting smart to the fact that most of these universities are a scam. But there are some really cool things that you can go in and innovate and improve and attract more students in. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this deal. I'm really excited we got the first one down. And we're going to do a lot more of those in the acquisition holdco environment. I think, there's a clear roadmap for this one to, 10 to 20x. So it was just really cool. And to boot, it's just a beautiful deal structure as well, which y'all know. I get to put on the nerd side of me. So he's like asking me, okay, like, what do you think about this deal? It's like, dude, this is beautiful. Taking over. I'll give you one part of the deal structure, which is taking over a loan, which is like a 3% interest rate. and because of that, their whole setup. And so basically, 3% is less than the US government is borrowing right now. So the US government is borrowing at 5%, and this thing is at 3%. Absolutely beautiful. So let's talk about some of the benefits of this. A few of you may be interested in this among many of the other strategies that we talk about in the Acquisition Holdco program. If you're interested in that, come hang out with us and we'll help you get deals done. That's what we do. When I'm not here, when I'm not doing videos for a while, just know it's not because I don't love you. It's because we're busy getting deals done like this one. So what were some of the things that attracted me to this space when I first did the original video about it? One of the things is just stable revenue. As we head into, especially if we head into recession, stable revenue is going to be very, very valuable. And even if there is, and we see this kind of decrease in students that are going to these universities, it's a very gradual decrease. And that's for the schools that aren't really being innovative and aren't doing marketing. Like we're looking at the financials, and I won't go into a lot of detail on this, but like when you look at these financials, they're just spending money, and it's not like a business should be spending money. So there's just a lot of meat on the bone, and there's a lot of innovation that can happen when it comes to marketing. But even without that, if you're talking about a 3% decrease and that kind of thing, it's very, very stable revenue for a industry that is doing very little innovating. I mean, if you're in a business, and even if it's just a regular business, and you're not innovating, you're not trying new things, you're not testing marketing, guess what? Your business is going to die over time. So for that business to not be doing any of those things and only see 3 to 5% decrease is absolutely amazing. The next part is recession resilience when you look over time. So the education sector, here's one of the interesting things. Once we really hit a recession and people have a harder time getting jobs, there's a lot to this, and there's so many levels, too much for me to cover here. But just understand that basically people are looking for how they can get a better job. And one of those places, because most people don't know any other option, they're looking to the education sector. So that helps it remain even more stable. And even really not just stable, it actually does better during an economic downturn. So when we're thinking about like things from a acquisition holdco strategy and diversifying, like we want to be able to have those things that are actually going to do better during the recession. And then obviously it's okay to have things that aren't going to do as well. And then, I think one of the really cool things is we're about to see a time where a lot of the regular jobs are about to get automated away. And a lot of those people at the same time are going to have to get more education and find other jobs. And so you want to target the school based on that reality as well. So the other thing is long-term customer relationships. So if you look at, when we're doing something like, think about like a SaaS business, which I love. I love SaaS businesses for this reason, but universities have this on, just a 20x level. So when we're buying a SaaS business, it's exciting because you've got a certain amount of time that person, the average amount of time that each customer is going to be a customer. So, if you can buy something and they're going to be a customer, typically like 12 to 18 months is wonderful, especially for a small SaaS business. Well, guess what? With these things, like you basically have somebody that's signed up for 2 to 4 years. So it's literally at the extreme of the very best customers that you would get as far as trying to find a deal with a long-term customer relationship. This is at the extreme. It's just beautiful, beautiful thing, right? The next part of this, which is really interesting, is endowments and donations. So, there's this whole other world, and then this ties into some of the things that we talk about with the trading strategy and the strategic income strategy. And so you've got this endowment that you can start to work to grow, and you can grow that with grants. You can grow that with donations, and just you can also get really creative and grow that too with some outside things. So it's so cool because it's like we're at a point right now where we're talking like, okay, let's just focus on this stage, but there's just all of these really cool opportunities. The other thing is real estate appreciation. So in this deal, currently there is some real estate, but in general, there's still an opportunity to do virtual schools. So in some cases, I like deals where we can get rid of the real estate and go virtual. Sorry, somebody's going nuts on their motorcycle. So but then a lot of these are going to have campuses. So the one that the client's doing right now is a real estate deal, and obviously, like once all of this is done, we get further down the line, he'll come on and we'll talk about it as well. Really excited. We will definitely talk about this on the upcoming actually HoldCo call with everybody. So we'll chat in a little more detail on this deal, but having the real estate that comes with that, being able to get that real estate tied in with such a low interest rate, it just is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that just gives you this really solid asset base. The next thing is brand loyalty. We're looking at a business. You want a business that has brand loyalty. But what if you had a business where they were so loyal to your brand that people who had done business with you formed organizations and networks because they loved your brand so much. They just wanted to get together and talk about their experience there and all that. And that's called Alumni Network. How awesome is that? Like, you actually have such brand loyalty that they're in their network, and it becomes this lifelong thing. But then they also want to send their kids there and that kind of thing. And it just enhances the university's value if you're doing this correctly. Thank you for reminding me. Hey, what are y'all doing? Like the video, like the stream. I always say, as deal makers, we're stingy with the money. We may be stingy on the deal structure, but at the end of the day, when it comes to likes, we're going to give those up freely. Save money, not likes. Don't save your likes up. Know when to spend. Spend your likes. So brand loyalty is just a really amazing aspect to these types of businesses. The global reach, one of the things, like, people from all over the world want to come to the US right now. They're letting everybody in, which is kind of a funny thing. I was just talking to some buddies yesterday. Like, I've got a bunch of friends that were in South America that are now in the US, and it's basically Trump was not lying. It's an open border. It's pretty much an open border. But there are a lot of people that want to come for education. And this becomes this global marketing opportunity to be able to give international students that educational opportunity. Now, I mentioned before, that debate between doing virtual and campus. I do think that if you can take a campus and then take it more virtual, do a campus-based deal and then take it more virtual, that's a huge opportunity. But the real opportunity, and just with this deal is going to be very, very huge, is with the virtual side. That's where the scalability comes into play. So you're able to scale and do it efficiently by offering those online courses and programs and enrichment programs. It's just all of these other things that you can do. And you don't have that marginal cost increase with physical expansion. Then we get into intellectual property and innovation. This is something that MIT has benefited from greatly. But, we've talked to universities that are doing some really amazing things. I mean, we're talking to a university outside of Houston that is doing just some really innovative stuff in the oil and gas space. You know what I mean? So it's not just like, I think sometimes we think innovation and we think, oh, that's going to be, like MIT, or that's going to be some, California USC or something, where you've got not UC, yeah, USC, Southern California, yeah. So you're going to have Stanford and these kind of places that are everything is tech. So people think innovation, they think tech, but everything, farms need innovation, everything needs innovation. And your school, in the case of the school outside of Houston, they are partnering with these companies, and it's beneficial both ways. Um, and so they're able to get some equity for doing some work, and just some very cool things that can happen, and then that kind of stuff can go into your endowment. And then lastly, every deal, I love when there's diversified revenue streams. So there's just all of these sources of income that you can create. They're apart from just obviously tuition. There's research grants. You've got the campus facilities that you can rent out. Everybody talks about, event space, that kind of thing. It comes with its own event space. You've got increasing the programming, like continuing education programs, which, like I said, that's going to increase. And then we've got just innovative things, which are going to be really, really cool. So I wanted to jump on, share that with you. If you are interested, I want to do more of these. I want to find people that are interested in more of these. If you are, I think a good place to start is soloconglomerate.com. That's the course. If you are interested in, jumping in, reach out to us to see if you're a good fit for the acquisition HoCo program, and we would love to have you as a part of it. What's up? Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Adriana says, love learning new things here. Smart man. I appreciate that. All right. Thank y'all for popping in. Share this video with anybody you think might be interested in doing these types of acquisitions, whether it's on the media side, universities, or just buying a business. There's a ton of opportunities out there. And I will be back with you very, very soon.